Hello Aquarius, Elsie here to do your reading. It is a weekly reading. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. How are you, Aquarius? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. I am here to do a 9-card draw for you, Aquarius. Let's find out what's going on for you. This could happen anywhere between now and today, tomorrow, next year. Whenever it is, it's not going to resonate for everybody right off the bat. It's not to be expected that it's going to happen today, tomorrow. And let's find out what is going on. Let's talk about you, Aquarius. If you are here and you are brand new, welcome. Thank you for showing up here, and I hope you will stay. And if you are here and you always come back here, if you're the ride or die Aquarius, thank you for doing that. Listen, if I come through your feed anyway, you might as well just hit that subscribe button, right? It makes a big difference to me. It's just a little thing you're doing, but it's free and it makes a big difference for me. Thank you for the thumbs up if that's what you're doing when you get here. It's just going to help us find more Aquariuses to bring to 10 Cups Tarot. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you how to find the extended and how to find a private read if you're interested. Let's look at the 9-card draw for you, Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got a 6 of Pentacles here. We've got the Knight of Wands. The first thing that came to mind was fast friends. I feel like you're meeting a new friend in the future or a new group of people. It feels like you're, there is a, I feel like right now you're quite alone. I want to say, and I mean, it's not like it's a terrible thing for you, Aquarius. You don't mind being alone, but I feel like right now you're feeling a little lonely. The Knight of Wands is that. The Knight of Wands is somebody who just is, beats to their own drum, does their own thing, right? There's one guy in the boat with his dog. It's like, oh, it's all I need is me and my companion, right? But the Three of Wands is showing this person here is at the table. And although they have a cup here, there's no one here to share their time with them. I feel like the Three of Wands tells me that in the future, something is coming up that is it feels like reciprocal energy. So it feels like you're going to be meeting new friends. When I put down these 2 cards, Charlie, my guide, said to me immediately, those are fast friends. It feels like, because the Knight of Wands moves quickly, is very brave, it feels like you're going to be entering a group of people who are going to want to give you reciprocal energy. But I feel like that's going to be in the future. And as of right now, it feels like you're sort of like a lone wolf, I want to say. That you're doing things by yourself. Where's this person? It seems like a cabin in the woods or maybe a restaurant. Somebody is just like enjoying looking out into the water. Oh, maybe you're seeing the future. Could be that because water is intuition, right? And it could be like maybe you're seeing into the future. Maybe that's why you're not worried. And maybe you just don't have a hard time making friends, right? Why are we talking about this? We've got the 5 of Wands. I think you're kind of selective with your friend group and the people that you let have access to your time. The 5 of Wands is showing me that, everybody here, the 4 people around the outside there, they've already picked where they put their wand, but I feel like there's one person in the center here who is undecided. I'm going to say that you're very careful when you decide who can be in your circle and who's not. There's one person here who can't decide where they want to be. Tell me more. We've got the 8 of Swords. Hands are tied. Overthinking. That wouldn't be you, would it? Wouldn't be unlike an air sign. We have the Death card. I think you just want to end the loneliness. It feels like, we all need somebody, right? Whether it's just one person to connect to, another human being, right? It feels like you've been by yourself for a while. Maybe you're traveling by yourself because we have somebody in the boat. It almost feels like this could be a cabin setting or a restaurant. Maybe you've been traveling by yourself, or maybe you've been living abroad. It feels like that you've been doing this by yourself, though. It feels like you're just doing it all alone. And I think that you like that. But I think that you want to bring that to an end. But I think that you feel like your hands are tied because you're very selective about who you allow into your life or into your friend group. And it feels like that has to change if you don't want to be alone. We've got the Judgment card. As we talk about change, Judgment shows up, right? It's about awakenings, going down a different path, doing a 180 in your life and deciding I've got to do something a little bit different. Because holding on to the old ways, I believe, is an illusion. Holding on tightly to something is breaking your heart or making you upset or feeling like things aren't how can I say? And like maybe it's a little bit disappointing. And just looking here, we've got in her quiver, there's three arrows. And in this particular deck, it is the arrows that are swords. And so there are three swords in the quiver. And she's looking into the water and her hands are tied and trying to use her intuition, but her hands are tied because she's up in her head overthinking everything. I think this is what you're holding on to really tight with the Four of Pentacles here. The Knight of Wands tells me that you really are usually a lone soldier, that you don't mind your own time and you like to travel alone, or you like to be alone, or you like to do your own thing. But I feel like it feels like a season, though. It feels like I go in and out of these seasons where I know I'm the emperor, but then I go in and out of these seasons where I feel like I want somebody around. It almost feels like, and that's when you go ahead and jump the gun and make some sort of a big, bold move and maybe get yourself into a friendship group, into a relationship, and then you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I should have been reminded about the past and how it didn't work out. So we're going to put down 2 cards. We'll find out what's going on underneath the surface here, and then we're going to clarify a little bit. Tell me about this. All right. Well, we've got the Sun. There is a breakthrough here. So I think if you want it, you can have it, I want to say. And then we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. But do I want it? Right? How much effort, energy, time, or money do I want to put into something that's brand new? Something that is brand new and just growing. It does feel like you're about to make a decision. You're realizing that you're holding on to something that you can't make a decision about. And it does feel like this Eight of Swords being at the center of the reading is really the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is, I don't really know what to do. I feel like my hands are tied. I don't really feel like I can make a decision because I'm not listening to my intuition at this moment. It feels like you can't make a decision. These 2 cards are cards of being an indecision, not being, and this is a place where we put ourselves. And so I feel like there are times when you feel like you want to have people around because it can get very lonely, but then you're like, if I could just have them around like 10% of the time and then just go away and I'll let you know when I want you back. Aquarius. It's like the Knight of Wands is here, right? And you're the one, I always see the Knight of Wands as like the van life person, right? The person who's into adventure and I just do my own thing and I just don't want people around crowding my time and my energy. But ultimately, it leaves you in a place where possibly you feel a little bit lonely. This guy's the only one on the boat. This one's, got a cup of coffee that nobody's taking up here. And this person's looking into the future saying, what do I really want for the future? Something has to change. And so I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is telling me, well, maybe if I plant new pentacles, then with the Six of Pentacles here, then I can have friendships, I can have reciprocal energy. But I think right now you're holding on to the Eight of Swords and holding on to the hope that you might make a different decision. That's what these 4 cards are telling me. That there's a decision-making process that needs to take a natural course here. And it feels like you're really looking over the details, trying to use your intuition. But it also feels like you're really holding on tight to the Eight of Swords, to the instability of not being able to make a decision. And I think that you will probably do that for a while. Let's clarify just a little bit. It looks like you're going to have a breakthrough, or there's going to be some sort of realization that's coming up here. A vibration. She's banging a gong here, and that will vibrate for a very long time. So I feel like you're gonna know what to do, but it feels like you have a decision to make in the sunlight with the breakthrough, and that is how much time, effort, or energy do I really want to put into having a relationship or a friendship or getting into another group of people that may not work out for me. Yeah, I think you go back and forth through this, where you feel sometimes you feel lonely and sometimes you just don't. Tell me about the Knight of Wands. We've got the Two of Wands. 3 altogether. Again, we've got the Three of Wands here. We've got the Hermit. Yeah. You're coming to an end of a season where I feel that you've been spending time by yourself. And although I think that you like to do that, I think you go in and out of that. At least that's my experience with the with the people that are close to me that are Aquarius. I don't really need anybody, but every once in a while it's nice to have people around, but get out of my space. I don't want to live with you. Like, it feels like that sort of energy. I'm going to say that in the future, something's about to change. I feel like you are going to plant your pentacle somewhere, that you're going to drop a seed and you're going to see if it takes, if it sprouts. I feel like you do want to meet a new group of people, like a new friendship group, or you're looking, maybe I do want a relationship. The Fool is here with the Hermit. The thing is this, that's the conundrum. The Fool was with the Hermit. The conundrum is, I really do want to do it. It feels exhilarating and exciting. It feels like a brand new fresh start. And then the Hermit shows up and says, but what about your alone time? You're going to have to give something up. So make sure you go over the details and make sure you know what you want. Make a plan about how you can back out of this if you want to, because I'm just going to say the Knight of Wands is the one that has a lot of instability. The one that is not necessarily going to go with the plan. You're going to want to, when you say, yeah, I'm going to go left, maybe I'll just go right. And you want to be able to have that power within yourself to be able to make that decision without someone telling you what to do. So I feel like you have indecision about getting into some sort of a group of people, but I feel like you're feeling a little bit lonely these days and that you would really like to have a friendship group. But I think you also go in and out of that. Telling you with the Five of Wands, it feels like the Five of Wands is this place of indecision, right? I don't really know if I want anything permanent. I don't want someone to include me in their group of friends and say, okay, now you're our bestie and now you have to keep coming back and doing what we want. That's not what you want. The World is here with the Five of Wands, and I know that you want to end the indecision. I think that you do. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think you're necessarily ready to grow roots anywhere or be very permanent. I feel like you're a person, I'm getting a person who's a world traveler. It feels like you like to travel the world and do your own thing and make your own, making your own way. The World card, sorry, I was listening to a song and I can't make it out, so I'm not going to go there. But the World card being here tells me that you do in fact see it as an accomplishment when you find a group of people you really jive with, you enjoy their company, but they quickly irritate you because they try and pin you down into pentacles. And they say like, okay, now you're part of our group. Now you got to come here. Now you got to go there. Now everybody's buying into the cruise. Now you got to come with us. And I don't feel like you're interested in doing that. We've got the Moon energy here, and we've got the Three of Swords, because this has happened to you before. That's what it feels like. I feel like you have done this before, and I feel like this is something that you go in and out of. I'm doing this. Water bearer, right? I feel like you go in and out of it, that whenever you do finally stop with the indecision and you find people who give you reciprocal energy, it does feel like what you don't see is what ends up breaking your heart. It feels like it never works out. The reason why you keep moving and the reason why you decide not to plant yourself somewhere is because it never works out. I want the ability to be able to move on if I don't like it. But I think you do this quite a lot. I think that you find yourself a group of people, get into it, reciprocal energy. I feel like you jump in, everything's fresh, the honeymoon period starts, and then all of a sudden you're like, I need a plan to get the hell out of here. Because the Knight of Wands is demanding that you go adventuring, right? The Knight of Wands wants adventure. And so I feel like this is the conundrum that you're in. And I feel like you're stuck in your head about it, Aquarius. It feels like this Eight of Swords is telling me that you're like, I don't really know. I don't really know if I want to find a group of people. I feel like my hands are tied. My intuition's not really helping me out. But I feel that there are times when you feel alone and you do want the loneliness to end. So you want to invest somewhere, but you don't want anything to hold you back. You don't want to like hold on to it so tightly that you can't make a decision. I feel like something's coming here. I feel like with the Judgment card, I feel like a decision is coming here. Let's talk about the Judgment card for a minute. Tell me about Judgment. We've got the Queen of Wands, we've got the Knight of Cups, and we've got the Emperor. So it feels like, I feel like you are feeling lonely for a relationship and passion, to be honest, because I feel like the Knight of Wands energy is the energy that you're in, feminine or masculine. And it feels like with the Queen of Wands energy, you're ready to make a big, bold move to jump into something that is of the Knight of Cups energy. But this particular Knight of Cups in this particular deck shows the Knight of Wands being very strategic with their heart space. And the Emperor is here, and you're the one that's in charge of you, but you're being very strategic with your heart space. And I feel like you're the one who likes to pursue, and maybe you've got someone in your sights that you're interested in pursuing, or you're interested in making some big, bold, fiery move. It feels like you're looking for passion. And I feel like sometimes you get lonely for passion. You think it's a great idea to jump into a relationship, and then before you know it, you're like, nah, bro, I was better off single. I feel like you do want to end this loneliness, though, because I feel like in the future, as you look into your future, what you see in the future is that you could plant your pentacle anywhere you want, but I feel like you're feeling lonely at this time. But as you look into the future, I feel like you're wanting to change something with the Death card here. We've got the Two of Swords. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. It feels like you do want to sort of find a place to settle down, to call home. But you also want to have the not the stability, but the flexibility, right? Gemini being the mutable sign. You want the flexibility to be able to just come and go as you please. So in the future, you will be making a decision. That decision is about how to end the loneliness that you're feeling. It feels like this is the hardest decision that you're going to make for a while, because it's something that is going to contribute to your balance, because the Two of Swords is Libra. It feels like this Queen of Pentacles energy tells me that you really do want to settle down somewhere. Like maybe instead of traveling, maybe instead of doing van life for a while, I'm not saying you're a van lifer, but maybe instead of doing van life for a while, maybe you just want to settle down somewhere. Maybe you just want to rent an apartment for a while, or maybe you just want to, park the van and live in a hotel for a while. Like it feels like, but you want the flexibility to be able to end it at any time to go. And that's the conundrum of you, Aquarius, at least the one I'm connecting to right now, is that I want to make my own decisions, but I don't know what decisions I want to make. And that's what keeps holding me back, is the decision that to make something permanent isn't something that I really want. But I feel like first I need to, if I found a place that matched my vibe, my vibration, and that gave me a breakthrough, then maybe this is the place where I would plant the pentacle, but I'm not really sure what I want to give my time, effort, and energy to. We have the Magician. Maybe it's an illusion. I think you want to create balance. So maybe it's not necessarily a relationship that you're after, but it feels like you want to create some sort of groundhog day for a little bit. You're feeling like where you can thrive is somewhere permanent. So if you bought a house, if you got a cabin, if you rented a hotel room or rented an apartment for a year, like it feels like you want to stay somewhere. But I think that you want to have the flexibility to be able to go. But if you pick up on this friend group, you're going to have this heartbreak part again, where I'm going to have to, what I don't see coming is something is coming to an end. Things aren't as they seem. They don't know that I'm going to break their heart by leaving, or I've gotten into this situation before where I did pick a permanent place and then it got really weird, and then I had to exit. We're going to go into the extended. We're going to talk more about this and find out what this means. What is this group? Is it in the future? How far in the future is it? And it looks like you're holding on to the hope that maybe you can find something that's permanent, but also something that gives you flexibility. It feels like something's about to change that you don't have control over, because the Death card is permanent. It is Major Arcana. The World card is here in the Sun. So you're going to have a breakthrough. There is something that's changing. It is changing in the future. We'll find out what that is. The Emperor is here, also Major Arcana. You have to take charge of something and do something, but I think you're wanting to make it strategic. Feels like there is maybe some passion in your future, but I don't know that you want a permanent relationship. I'm just saying. So let's go into the extended. If you want to be in the extended, please look at the top of the pinned. There's a pinned comment at the top of all the comments. If you click on more, you will see there is a list that comes out. You can purchase this outright if you'd like to just watch this once, or you can come to the membership area where you will get 4 extendeds in a month. If you want a private reading, I'm also offering those. I am doing them pre-recorded. I'm also doing them live. So pick your poison, and you can take the link to Hypsee and go check out my pricing, which begins at $25 and goes up from there. And you can also look at my schedule and see if it matches you as to whether you want a private read that is live video or audio. And you will get 5 to 75% off if you do book ahead. I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I will be in the extended if that's where you are. I'll see you in a minute. If not, if this is where we part ways, that's cool, because I'll be back, because I'm always back, Aquarius. Take care. Bye-bye.